Welcome back to another episode of On the Porch with From Porch Music, hosted by me, Jenna, and Logan. This is one of those episodes where you don't have to listen to my voice. Lucky you. Logan was joined by Rosewood Ave. That's Dave and Sabrina. They're currently an iHeart Future Star with their single, Leavin' Town. From all the way up in Timmins, Ontario, wink wink Shania Twain, episode 200, Dave and Sabrina, aka Rosewood Ave, are multi-CMA Ontario nominees. They've just cracked the top 40 with their first top 40 at radio. Congrats, Rosewood Ave. You will learn in this episode that their whole love story is very, very cute. Sigh. Jealous. You'll also learn that they're just really great people, and their music is kind of fire. Enjoy this one with Rosewood Ave, Logan, and not me.
We are here today with Sabrina and Dave from Rosewood Avenue. Welcome.
Thank
Hello.
you for having us.
Welcome to the porch.
Woo!
I can't believe we haven't had you up here yet on the porch. So I really appreciate you making the time out of your crazy schedule over the next couple weeks to meet with us.
Yeah, we're excited to be a part of it as well. 'Cause
Absolutely.
It's been a while since we've chatted like formally like this, but
Yeah, and we always see each other either CMAOs or CCMAs, but it's always such a crazy time.
I know.
Yeah.
We kind of just like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Okay, gotta go.
yeah.
Quick hugs. How you doing? How's life? Catch
Yeah.
up. See ya.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Always a cheers for sure.
Yeah.
Especially at those events. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you guys? How's things with in Rosewood Aveland?
It's been busy.
Rosewood Avalan has been kind of like a whirlwind in all the best ways, but yeah, things have been really exciting.
Yeah, it's been a little bit like a roller coaster. It's kind of like, not too much. And then all of a sudden you're like,
Yeah.
oh, we got this, we got that. And it's just nonstop. But we like the busy.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I don't know if this happens for you guys, but every year it's like, okay, I'm going to be ready for the summer season, for the busy season. It's going to be a lot more organized, and then all of a sudden it's here, and you're like, I planned nothing.
It's true. And I'm especially bad for packing for the big events. I'm always like, I'm going to be less stressed. I'm going to start, slowly a week in advance, night before. I'm like, what am I going to wear?
I've never packed more than 12 hours before anything.
Okay. So we're like kindred spirits in the packing world.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's a little easier for me and you, Logan. Couple dress shirts, some shirts, jeans. I don't know about you, but I got my 4 pair of jeans, good
Yeah.
jeans.
Yeah.
And you pack those and you're like, all right, we're good.
That's true.
I got the blue ones, the dark blue ones, the light blue
And the
ones,
black ones.
and the black ones.
And the black.
Those are the really
Yeah.
fancy ones. Like those are for special events with the black jeans.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Although all my hats take up a lot of space, so there's that. So why don't we, for those of us who are listening who don't know you yet, or just getting to know you from hearing your song on the radio, why don't you tell us who you are, where you're from, and how you got to where you are right now?
Yeah, sure. So we're Rosewood Avenue, husband and wife country duo. We live in Northern Ontario, and by Northern Ontario we mean Northern Ontario, near the
Not the cute little
Timmins.
Central Ontario like Muskoka. It's like
No.
Yeah.
No.
Keep driving.
Muskoka is the south for us.
Yeah.
So near the Timmins area, home of Shania Twain, if you're not sure where Timmins is.
Yeah.
And we've been
I don't know who that
playing.
is.
No, she's sort of
She's
known
okay.
in these parts.
But we've been doing this for 17 years now, that we've been together and playing music together. But we started doing it a little bit more on the professional side and getting ourselves out there and for about 5-6 years now, right? So that's pretty much who we are
In a nutshell.
in a nutshell. Yeah.
So did you guys meet through music, or did music kind of come after you got to know each other?
For me anyway, it was sort of at the same time because So I was always into music since I was a kid, and we kind of had like a nice little music scene in our small high school. And a friend of mine had said, "There's this guy, Sabrina, that lives across the street from you, and here's a little clip of him playing the guitar that I got." She got sent on MSN Messenger, which dates us
MSN
a little bit. And I listened to it, and
status
I
set
was
two
like,
away.
"Yeah, exactly. Log in, log out." So I couldn't believe it that there was this guy that could play like that, and I've never met him before. So basically, I added him on Messenger, and I like to tell the story that his email was daverockstar101@hotmail.com, and that's a true story.
Everyone has an
Horrible.
embarrassing first email.
Yeah. So anyways, we added each other on friends, and I was like, "Hey, like I'm your neighbor, Sabrina. Did you know that?" But I didn't get into the part that I was a musician because I wanted to see what kind of guy, does he want to get to know me for me?
I I kind of ignored her.
Isn't that mean?
Well, yeah, because some stranger just added you as a friend.
Right?
Hey,
I'm
that's
like,
I'm your
fine.
neighbor. Do you know me?
Yeah, it wasn't too smooth on my end.
but so fast forward maybe about like 3 weeks,
Hmm.
and we went to my parents had some friends that also knew Sabrina and her family, and we got to talking about music, and they said, "Well, your neighbor is a musician." And I was like, "Oh, really? Who?" "Yeah, Sabrina. She lives across the street from you, and like she records music." And I was like,
Oh.
"Oh, really?" So that same night, MSN Messenger,
Look, she
Hey,
already
hey.
added me.
neighbor here.
So that's kind of how. And then we became really good friends, actually, for about a year. Eventually, that wasn't enough. Feelings and the rumors, the small town
We're
rumors,
rolling around.
started going around, and
Yeah.
yeah. Fast forward to now we're married and on
Gonna be
this
gonna be
crazy journey.
married 9 years this summer, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wait, so that small of a town, growing, living across the street from one another, you didn't know each other already?
So he was from another small
I
town,
had moved
Smooth Rock Falls, and he had just moved
across the street.
to Yorko Falls. So he was the new kid in town at that point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, or else
And
I definitely would have known.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, did you just never go outside, or
Yeah. I just play guitar by myself.
yeah? And then is that like the inspiration behind your band name, Rosewood Ave?
Part of it. So I mean, we kind of like when we decided to take this in a more professional manner, um Sabrina and Dave were kind of like,
Mm,
yeah, that's not gonna cut it.
yeah.
So we wanted a name that wasn't just random, and that meant something. So this was in our hot tub, our thinking tank, as we call it,
Mhm.
and started kind of brainstorming. And her maiden name is Charlebois, her last name, and bois is means wood in French.
Yeah.
And then Rose is basically, I always bought her roses for our anniversary. So we're just kind of like Rosewood came out, and we're like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I think we could do something cool with that. And then we thought about Devonshire Avenue, which is where I moved and where we met. Um, and so we threw all that in a blender, Rosewood Avenue. We're like, that's
Yeah.
kind of cool. That has a smooth ring to it, and we went with that.
Yeah.
So when did you two start performing together as, um, even unofficially as a duo, just kind of from the beginning?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I was gigging quite a bit at the time, and pretty much as soon as we started dating, like, so do you want to start joining me on shows? So I was playing a local Canada Day thing,
Yeah,
and
that was our first one.
yeah, I said, "Do you want to play?" And like, here's the songs. But back then, I had all my songs like in a big binder, and sent that to him. And yeah, we played our first show together.
Like 16, 17 years ago.
Yeah, and at the time, like he was strictly guitar, He really thought he would never get into singing. So yeah, we did our first show together, and I like to joke around because I knew he was good at lead guitar, but he just kind of played the same chords as me. And
Mhm.
after the show, I
Played it
said,
safe.
I'm like, so you did a really good job, but like you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. So I think you need to be my lead guitar player. He's like,
So
okay.
she's always given me more work. She's like, you gotta learn leads, gotta learn how to
Yeah.
sing. No, it's I feel very grateful because I was always just kind of playing guitar by myself in my basement, Uh, and if, a piece of advice for any musician, younger musician or older, like starting out, play with other people.
Yeah.
You will like improve tremendously so quickly as well. So yeah, that happened for me and just kind of took off from there.
Dave, was a career in music ever kind of on your radar, or was it more of like a yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough as well to grow up in a very musical family. My cousin is the lead guitar player for Johnny Reed. So
Fun fact.
Yeah.
yeah, it was always sort of a thing that, like, for me, it's like it is possible to do music, because a lot of my relatives were in the
Yeah, you
music
have quite a
industry.
few cousins actually in the industry.
Yeah, I have another one that is a bass player for the French group Les Rats Swamp.
Love them.
And yeah, and then I have another cousin that is playing for a Swedish metal band called Soen.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
So, yeah, it's very musical family. So yeah, it was always something that I wanted to do. But with like meeting Sabrina, we kind of found something that we could kind of market and that worked.
Yeah, and I think like for you too, you always wanted to be in the industry, but I don't know if you felt like being an artist was going to be that path. So
I probably never thought I could be an artist.
it's really brought like some cool
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
So if you weren't singing before, that first time that you grabbed the mic on stage, were you like shitting your pants?
100%.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I had like the pandemic to practice
Yeah.
and I couldn't hear anybody boo me or anything. So,
It's just
we
Sabrina in the background. Boo.
Imagine. Oh my God.
uh, but yeah, so I had a little period where I could,
Yeah.
catch up.
And people were supportive. And I think, like,
Yeah.
especially us playing together, like, people wanted to hear you sing,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And Sabrina, for you, was music
Mhm.
kind of always your path, or was that something that was kind of like it'll be a fun hobby maybe, but because I often wonder how people or how kids from like further remote areas kind of see themselves getting into these kinds of industries.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, like for me, I've been singing my whole life. Very musical family, but nobody's pursued it professionally. So for me, my dream was always to, be an artist, but I felt that it wasn't really possible. So I always put in all the work. And it's funny because I worked on a tourist train. It was my first job at 16 where I played music. It was 10 hours a day, and I used that to save up for my tuition for university. So I actually used my backup plan to pay for what was going to be my career. So I went into teaching, and I taught music at a middle school for full time for 9 years. But felt like my true path was to be an artist. So, meeting other like-minded people made me feel like it was possible. And yeah, that was always my dream, but I truly didn't know if it was possible to do it.
and I think, we're very like yin yang,
Yeah.
and we grew up like Sabrina was always more sort of the like professional and realist, and I was like a little bit more heads in the clouds and
Yeah.
like
You dreamer.
anything's possible.
I like that about you, though.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, that was a good combination for us
Yeah.
because eventually for couple, we kind of had it all. We had the stable jobs and
Yeah.
and the house, and we were married, and we were supposed to be like, super happy and content, yet we weren't. And we were trying to figure out what that was, and we figured out pretty quickly that it was music. So
So it's like it really feels like I'm like making that little girl version of myself,
yeah,
like happy and proud. Like it feels good to be doing what we're doing.
yeah,
And guaranteed, there's people who are in your community and other communities that are a little further outside of urban areas who
Yeah.
are looking to you as like, oh, maybe this is something I can do because you guys
I,
also haven't left your town either.
No, no,
oh,
we're still up there. We're still, we're in a little town called Madison. And, even teaching the students throughout the years, like there's a lot of kids that tell me now that they feel like it's possible. And I feel like, you know, that is probably one of the best things to hear. And that's a goal of ours is just to let other people know that like it doesn't matter where you come from. Like if you have a dream and you have the drive to do it, like give it a try.
yeah, I
We'll
really,
see.
I really hope we do inspire,
Yeah.
younger and like-minded people to, at least give it a try.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there. Um, yeah,
I actually think it's really really admirable that you haven't left your hometown really, and like, has there been moments where like I'm going to, or like maybe we should, or what would that look like?
yeah, I think it's definitely an ongoing conversation because, the reality is that the industry and the scene is not where we are. It's if you're looking at Ontario, it's in the GTA area,
Mhm.
and getting closer that way, it just opens up opportunities for us, makes things a lot easier. But we're still very happy to be where we are in Matheson. I'm not gonna lie, our mortgage is a lot better than I'm sure a lot of people.
The
Yeah.
cost of living for sure. But,
Yeah.
there's something to say about like where you're born and raised in these small towns. Like it means a lot to you. Our family, our
Mhm.
family's still there. Nobody's really left. So it's home, but we do know that maybe eventually, we might have to relocate, but
And
taking our time with that.
I think if we do relocate, I could see us just keeping our house
Mhm.
and figuring a way around that, just
Yeah.
kind of keep
Mhm.
those roots there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does how does the being from such a smaller area, how does that reflect in your music, or how does that dictate your art?
Mm.
I think it gives that kind of humble um and even rootsy aspect that you kind of hear, we don't ever try to sound or be or portray ourselves bigger than who we are. um and we just like to keep things real, and I think that's something that you often find in like the northern Ontario and in
Yeah.
smaller rural communities.
I also think it makes us relate with country music even more though, because
Yeah.
a lot, the stories that are being told is often like what's happening in our backyard or in our community. So I feel like it makes us connect with the genre too.
We were actually laughing on our way here, Sudbury. We were camping in Ville Marie in Quebec, and we were driving through a field, and there's tractors and cows, and I'm just like, you know, it does not get more country than this.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect. I think it's a lot easier to be a country artist in a way.
Um, that makes total sense, and I mean, it is a genre that's all about storytelling, and
Hmm.
Yeah.
you got to live the story to be able to tell it.
Yeah.
So, you two are married and obviously working together, so you're obviously spending literally all the time together. Um, how do you kind of keep music and like career separate from life, or do you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good question. Yes and no. Music is just like it's both of our obsessions. So we're always listening to it. We're always talking about it. Like not our music though, like about just
Yeah,
what's
no.
inspiring us or our, our vinyl connection collection. So we're always listening to music, but as far as the business side, like we've had to come up with like some boundaries because it's easy for that to take over. And we've always said like if the marriage is not strong, the music's not going to be either. So we kind of have like some silly rules. Like I always get cranky when I practice after 9:30 p.m. So we always cut it off,
Yeah.
by a certain time. And once in a while we'll block out like an entire weekend. We went camping recently and we're like, hey, for those 3 days, like nothing. Like just we're gonna listen to music, but we're not gonna talk business.
I think it's also, finding ways, other things that we enjoy doing together
Yeah.
and doing those to kind of like it naturally blocks out the business and the music, like cooking. We love cooking together. So by taking the time to cook a meal and not just like, whip up a dish and eat quick and then you're back
Yeah.
to answering emails and
Put a
practicing.
little jazz music on and
Yeah.
try a new recipe.
So that's something that we do together and we enjoy. Like I mentioned beforehand, the other part too is that we did do the normal couple
Mhm.
beforehand and we didn't necessarily like it. So we're very much okay with it being a big part of our life.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I just got so distracted, Sabrina, by the Sugarland shirt. They
Oh
are
yeah.
they are my favorite.
Oh
They're
yeah.
so good.
I got this shirt in a vintage shop somewhere in Toronto, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I love Sugarlands.
Yeah, they're my fave. I need
Yeah.
to see them
Yeah.
perform at some point, and it's gotta be soon because I don't know how
Yeah.
much longer they'll be touring together.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, we'd love to see them too.
Well, he's been like producing Megan Maroney's stuff, and
Yeah.
he's like really gotten into
Yeah.
that world. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that shirt really just threw my train right off the track. Who are some of your inspirations? You were talking about being inspired by, your vinyl collection, um, the music you listen to while cooking. Who is some of your inspiration, or who are you really digging right now?
Right now, I'm always into Sheryl Crow.
Mhm.
Linda Ronstadt. We listen to a lot of like I love like Fleetwood Mac. Honestly, like we listen to everything though of all different styles.
I mean, if you look at who we have saved on our like on my Spotify, I can honestly say that you will not find big artists like your uh Luke Bryan's and your Jelly Rolls and your like even Luke Combs. I don't have much of those. We often listen to independent or rising artists because I have a theory that the best music comes right before an artist breaks through.
Mhm.
There's something, it's not overproduced. There's that want and that drive that you hear in the music, and it's just the quality
Yeah.
is there. And I don't know. That's sort of what we end up um, listening to, and we always love finding new
Yeah.
artists.
I also wonder, but when I was getting my thoughts together before talking to you, I was wondering what your approach to creating music is. Being married, but also being a duo, because you're not just creating stuff for yourself, you're creating stuff as a unit. What is your approach to creating music? Does one of you kind of take the lead, or do you take turns taking the lead, or is it really collaborative?
I think we use each other's strengths. Usually when we want to write a song, I usually grab my acoustic, fiddle around, find a cool kind of riff, a cool, sound, some chords, and then she'll like start humming like a melody on top of that, and we'll like record voice memo of that. And then from there, like, because whenever, even in the car or we're just talking, you find songs everywhere
Yeah.
through life. So we usually like write those down. So then when we're actively writing a song, after we kind of found that sound and that melody, we try to match the vibe and energy that that's bringing, or even how we're feeling in that moment, and pairing it up with a subject that we think um, is gonna go good together.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we
Yeah, and we love
do it.
co-writing too. Like we do tons of
Yeah,
co-writing, especially lately. We've been writing nonstop the last year.
nonstop.
I think last week we wrote 4
4
songs,
songs.
which we were happy with that number. So yeah, we love collaborating with different writers. It's funny when we're writing just like together, just us two. Speaking of like the balance of being a couple, we realized that like we have to treat each other like co-writers in the moment because it's almost too much. Like you'll get insulted if the other person gives you constructive criticism or
Start bickering.
Yeah.
so we had to be like, hey, when we write, me and you, like pretend that you're another co-writer.
Yeah.
And it's been going like really good.
Yeah, it's kind of a different
Yeah.
mindset
Mhm.
and way of approaching it. So
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
So you two are up for a couple of CMA Ontario awards this year.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
you.
They're coming up later this week for those by the time this comes out. Um,
Yeah.
what has the Ontario community been like for you?
It's been everything for us. I mean, when we uh, started doing this a little bit more professionally and starting started putting ourselves out there and releasing music, um, it still feels like it was last year
I know, it's crazy.
going to the first CMAO, and at that point, we had met like Dave Woods
Mhm.
online and had done a few virtual rounds with him, and had started meeting artists online. So showing up in person and meeting those people felt really good. We felt instantly welcomed,
Yeah.
and we were finally a part of something,
Of a
of a
community, yeah.
community. And like, oh, you finally we meet,
Yeah.
Rosewood. So
Especially coming from Northern Ontario too, like, you feel a little bit you're on the outskirts. So,
yeah,
yeah, meeting
Literally.
up with the association, yeah, literally on the outskirts that's been huge for us and having a solid community and group of friends, to
yeah,
celebrate the wins and
yeah.
yeah, we're thankful.
For someone going to their first whatever it is, CMA
Mm.
Ontario, Country Music Alberta, uh, BC Country Music, or CCMAs, what is a piece of advice that you'd give for someone going to one of those things for their first time?
I would say,
Do you think?
yeah, there's a few things. Like, show up, be yourself, but don't be scared because people are way more friendly than
Yeah.
you realize. So, if you show up as yourself, like, sit at a table of people you don't know and introduce yourself.
Um, and you're gonna show up. There's gonna be people at your level. There's
Yeah.
gonna be people ahead, way ahead of you,
Mhm.
and you know, don't feel like
Mm.
you come back home and you gotta copy everything that a certain person is doing, and you gotta chase everything. And
Yeah.
I need to do this, and you know, stay true to yourself. Keep on the road you're going. We all have different roads. Some are slower than others. But yeah, just
Yeah.
keep at what you're doing.
Find your path,
Yeah.
but also know that there's always room for growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to pivot just a little bit here. We're getting towards the end of our time together, which is crazy. But
Yeah, I know.
I know. I want to talk about some of your music. Um, you have your current single, but a song I want to talk about first is one that you put out a couple years ago. I don't even know how long ago at this point, but it still lives on my playlist. It's so fun. Broke is one of
Oh,
like I
yeah?
think it's such a fun song. Tell me a bit about that song and where it came from.
Yeah, so man, that was our second song we ever released.
Yeah.
We were really lucky to work with Garth Fundis on that, who produced Sugarland's
Yeah.
they're one of their biggest hit
That's
records. It's
I knew I liked
crazy.
it for a
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, so there you go. Which was crazy because, we were these kids very green from,
Yeah.
our small little town. And a team member of mine knew him like through mutual connection and sent a demo of Broke and Fool for Love. And he was like, yeah, I want to work with these guys. So we were so lucky on that track. We had some amazing players that just brought like such a swampiness to the sound, which we love that stuff.
And talking about, you're asking me if like grabbing a mic for the first time if I was shitting my pants.
You
Well,
was.
not only it was basically all of a sudden we're working with like Trisha Yearwood's producer,
Yeah.
and I gotta send him raw vocals. That I was shitting my pants.
You're like, oh.
I'm like,
Here we go. Yeah.
yeah.
But let's talk now about Leavin' Town, which is your current single, and it's at radio, currently in the top 50, which is so exciting. Tell me about that song and the experience of hearing it on the radio.
Yeah.
It's been surreal.
It's been wow. Like this song has done so much for us. And it's amazing because the song is all about celebrating like the magic of small towns. So it's exciting to see that that's sort of the song that's taking off for us.
Yeah, and like it's a weird thing when you release music.
Yeah.
There's so many ups and downs and highs and lows, and one of our mentors and Tara Shannon that we work with, when we started releasing music, she said, so releasing music is very exciting, but it's also the most anticlimactic thing that you will ever do. And we learned very quickly
That's great
that
advice.
is very much true.
Mhm.
So we release Leavin' Town, and it is what it is.
Yeah. It's out. We're like,
It's out.
hey.
We were excited about it. We hadn't released music in a little bit. And then, we had a plan, we had a really good plan. And we actually, did a radio campaign. We did a little radio tour. And that was our first radio tour as well. And so when our radio guy, Rob, gave us a call and said, I got some good news. You guys are picked for iHeart Radio Future Star. We're just like, what?
Yeah.
Just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that was like an instant tears thing just
Yeah.
because, like you put so much work throughout the years and it's just really exciting. So to see us on the charts is crazy.
We're,
Yeah.
I think we're now at like 43.
We're getting close to that top 40.
So
Let's hope.
It's nuts. I think it gets pretty competitive at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Whether or not we get a top 40, we're still so grateful and blessed to have
Yeah.
had that success. And we're just gonna keep growing from there.
What was that feeling when you first heard it on the radio for the first time?
Amazing. It's,
That that feeling never gets
I never get no.
okay?
And it's really cool. We had posted a video a few weeks ago. My parents were on a vacation to Casino Rama and Aurelia, and they were on the road. And my dad just said to my mom, like, imagine if we heard their song on the radio, and literally 5 minutes later, our song went on. So it was so sweet. They sent me a video, and I hear my dad being like, "They just said I heard Future Star. It's your song." And so hearing from other people catching it too has been really special.
I think I enjoy that just as much.
Yeah.
Like hearing our family so excited and proud of us. I love that because
Mhm.
we're very close to our family, and they've been supporting us and like buying tickets to our shows, like any way to support us, and traveling with us.
Sometimes I feel like my parents bought an RV just
Just
so
for
that
us.
they could come to as many shows as they can.
Yeah. But yeah, so to see the excitement and see things starting to pay off, it
Feels good.
feels very good.
It must feel super validating and like give you just that extra push to keep going when you get those nuggets of success.
100%. Like, and we got a lot of music recorded right now. So you feel like it feels like we're on the right path. And it's like just keep swimming,
Yeah.
just keep swimming. And yeah.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before, a lot of ups and downs.
Mhm.
What a lot of people don't see is, artists post only the highs and usually don't post the lows,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of them. So when you get some wins like that,
You gotta
it
take it
gives,
in.
yeah, you take it in, you celebrate it, and
And you go, what's next? Let's get it
keep
done.
going.
Yeah.
Um, that's like talking about having a lot of music kind of in the bank. That kind of leads into what's next for you all.
Another
It's a lot planned. Yeah, so we're hoping to release another single as soon as we can. And we got a lot recorded, so now it's just kind of picking like what's going to be that next one, and then an album
Mhm.
is the next step. So
Yeah, I think when we got the email about getting the iHeartRadio Future Star, I think the second line in the email is like, "All right, now we have to have a meeting about the next single,"
yeah, it's true.
because
Yeah,
that's how the industry works. It's
yeah.
all about momentum and keeping the wheel going.
Does getting something like that, and just being nosy now, does something like getting
Yeah.
something like that, does that completely change the schedule for like your next release, or are you like, wait a minute, we got to reassess?
Yeah,
It was
100.
it was almost like a let's reassess and make sure, the next release is,
I think like you're always like
yeah.
you're never chasing radio, and you're never, you hope. Um, I mean, if you say that you're not, yeah, I think you're lying a little bit,
Yeah.
because once you do get it, it it's a good feeling, and you celebrate. But
Yeah.
I think like, like for us originally, it was kind of the next thing was like, album, and just putting all our energy on that. But now that we have this momentum on radio, if we can keep that going, that momentum, because all of a sudden, um, people are listening, right?
Not only that, like the plan was though this year that this is the year we're gonna give it everything we got
Yeah.
because I left my full-time job last year
Yeah.
to do this, more heavily. So it's always been the plan, but now it's like this is really the plan. What's next?
Yeah. So I think it's basically the only thing that changes, kind of squeezing in uh, a single that we think might really do well on radio.
Well, I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to catch up with you guys next week at the CMA Ontario's.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know you're in the middle of a crazy couple weeks, so I really appreciate you taking the time.
No, we love this kind of stuff and we love talking to you.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Yeah.
Right back
you
at ya.
guys. Yeah, you guys support independent artists.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right from the beginning.
Yeah.
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 I always
so-
love like going to like an event and seeing either Sabrina or Dave or both you together across the room. Like, oh, gotta go over there.
I know.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
we'll have to definitely catch up and have a drink together.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to another episode of On the Porch with Front Porch Music. We're so lucky to be able to chat with artists and make episodes like this one. If you like the podcast, remember to rate and review us, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. It's the easiest way to support the show. Remember to check out frontporchmusic.ca to keep up with new music releases, exclusive artist interviews, and more. We'll catch you again on the porch in a couple of weeks. On the Porch is hosted by Logan Miller and Jenna Weiser, and produced and edited by Jason Saunders. That's me. Our theme song was written, produced, and performed by Owen Wrigley.